As you all know well by now, horror games are quite effective at terrifying their players. But sometimes certain relatively innocent games manage to really scare the heck out of people. Whether it's through imagery, actual jump scares, or a particular soundtrack, there are non-horror games with memorable but also scary scenes. The thing is, compared to watching a movie or reading a book, games are much more immersive, so even something small can unsettle some gamers. Welcome to HotFix Gaming. I'm Joy, and in the spirit of Spooky Month, today we're bringing you 10 scary moments in non-horror games. So, let's get started. Number 10. Fable 2: The Winter Lodge. Fable 2 has managed to catch a lot of people by surprise with this one particular scene. True to its name, the atmosphere of the game is known to be quite magical, as if you're living in your own fairy tale while you're immersed in the game's world. This is one of the many reasons why Fable has received a lot of praise and great ratings. But if you're expecting a fairy tale from top to bottom, then the game manages to subvert your expectations with the Winter Lodge. To access the Winter Lodge, you must first complete the challenge set out by the Bloodstone Demon Door, who proclaimed itself to have been a musician in the past. You must play perfectly on the flute for it to open and reveal the treasures behind for you. If you manage that, you're allowed passage through an idyllic winter wonderland, complete with its lodge where you're expected to find your rewards. The thing is that the scene will change the instant you step through the door of that lodge. The place will transform from warm and inviting into a cold and desolate place, with bodies and skeletons littering the place, blood smeared all throughout the floors. When you run outside, the lampposts will be broken and bent. Upon the pines hang human limbs, sacks of flesh, and entrails thrown over the branches. But hey, in return for a dose of cold horror, you get a pretty sick new sword and a treasure chest in the attic. Number 9. Control: Fridge Duty. Control does have some unsettling moments sprinkled here and there, but its scariest one comes from a side quest called Fridge Duty. You'll find this particular quest in the Panopticon section of the Foundation, and in it, you're attempting to help an agent who's assigned to stare at a refrigerator. The agent will tell Jesse that he doesn't know what will happen if he looks away from the fridge, but his eyes are burning and he doesn't know how much longer he can hold on. So, Jesse goes to find a way to relieve the agent from his duty, but just as she's about to return to that place, the man cries out. When Jesse enters the room, the chair where the agent was sitting is tipped over and empty. Perhaps most chilling of all is the fact that the fridge doesn't look any different than it did before. The refrigerator then proceeds to transport Jessie to the astral plane, where she finds herself in a confrontation with a gigantic slug-like entity possessing a colossal eye of mysterious origin and immense power. Number 8. Psychonauts: Milla's Dance Party. This particular level in Psychonauts takes place in Milla Vodello's mental world and serves as a training course for the campers at Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp, in order for them to learn the levitation power. As the title suggests, Milla's mental world is an enormous dance party from start to finish, but there's one particular hidden room off to the side of the course's normal route. This particular room contains the scars of a terrible trauma that Milla can't ever forget. When she was younger, she worked in an orphanage until it caught fire while she was away. All of the children in her care died in that fire, and this particular room has memories related to the incident. In the room, you'll find some children's toys and a large chest in the corner, which when opened, leads to a room lined with bars. On the other side, you'll find a group of nightmares being locked away in a horrible burning landscape, while they whisper in the children's voices about being in pain and plead for Milla to rescue them. Number 7. Subnautica: First time seeing the Leviathan. Subnautica is considered quite a peaceful game, where players can explore their surroundings, gather resources, and then use them to craft equipment or upgrade the existing one. But the peacefulness of the game diminishes considerably once players encounter the Reaper Leviathan for the first time. This particular carnivorous species is, in fact, larger than the biggest submarine available in the game. If you're looking for a thrill, you'll be able to find this monstrosity when you go explore the wreckage of the spaceship that crash-landed on the alien planet. But be aware of the Leviathan's massive mandibles, as the creature can use them to grab and eat you in a single bite. That only happens if your health is below 80% though. Number 6. The Witcher 3. The Statues. The Witcher 3 isn't considered a horror game, but it is full of disturbing creatures and scary moments. However, one of the most unsettling moments you'll experience as Geralt of Rivia is near Lindenvale, where you'll find a small church flanked by 2 angelic statues. If you do enter the church, inside you'll find a chest, but as you're looting it, if you turn round, you'll find the 2 statues staring at you menacingly. You think you might have to fight them, but as you come outside, nothing happens. They won't attack you, nor will they respond to your attacks. However, as you eventually walk away, you'll notice that when you turn round to look back at them, that they've advanced towards you and continue to stare you down like you owe them something. Quite unsettling, especially since these statues are representing celestial beings which are meant to be good, not evil. But then again, this is The Witcher we're talking about. Number 5. Halo Combat Evolved. The Flood. The main reason why the Flood is such a scary moment in Halo is probably because up until it shows up, there's absolutely nothing in the game that would even hint at something like this coming. With the element of surprise on its side, the Flood is this aggressive parasitic alien life form that takes no prisoners and would love nothing more than to completely eradicate the Covenant. Playing as Master Chief, you'll find yourself walking through abandoned paths that are littered with corpses of Covenant aliens. Eventually, when you find some dead human soldiers, you can take one of their helmets to watch a recording of what had happened to them. Through the recording, you get to see the Flood's incredible power as it inhabits the bodies of its victims, takes control of them, and kills them. All this happens just moments before you get to meet the Flood face to face and fight it. Number 4. Batman Arkham Knight. Man-Bat. The Arkham series has some excellent scary scenes, but probably the most effective jump scare moment is the one where Man-Bat shows up. Early in the Arkham Knight campaign, you'll find yourself grappling onto a nearby ledge, as you've probably done so many times before in both this game and other Arkham titles. However, this ledge is different, because perched on top of it, you'll find the creature known as Man-Bat. While the creature's appearance is downright horrifying, it's the element of surprise that's made plenty of gamers scream in horror the first time they've encountered Man-Bat. What makes this even scarier is the fact that if you play this mission on Halloween, the ending is different than any other day of the year. If you return to the GCPD after apprehending Kirk Langstrom, you'll discover that Man-Bat has escaped. As you go looking for Man-Bat, you might go to Langstrom's lab too, just to see if he might be there. That's where you'll find blood scrawled all over the walls, with the implication being that his wife took the formula too and has now also been turned into a Man-Bat. Number 3. Spiderman, PlayStation 1, Monster Dr. Octopus. You think that the PS1 version of Spider-Man would end with the boss fight against Carnage, but it doesn't. As soon as the fight ends, the symbiote leaves its host and infects none other than Doc Ock. What happens afterwards completely transforms the last few minutes of the game into a true survival horror. For some reason, you cannot harm Monster Dr. Octopus, and your only option is to run away from it, hoping that this creature will eventually be killed by the building collapsing upon it. But damn, these moments are absolutely terrifying. There's nothing scarier than knowing you have all these spidey senses and powers, and yet you're unable to stop your enemy. Number 2. Uncharted. Drake's Fortune, The Bunker. The scariest moment of the entire Uncharted franchise happens in Drake's Fortune as you're exploring the bunker. While this is just an abandoned submarine base and seems harmless, the atmosphere is definitely foreboding. As you explore the empty halls, you'll hear strange noises, and you might even think you're seeing some shadows here and there. Soon enough, a small army of zombie monsters shows up out of nowhere and chases you at a speed that'll make you want to never play this game again. Sure, there are hints of such horrors throughout the game, but the bunker really is the moment when Uncharted finally lets you see what lurks in the dark. Number 1. Red Dead Redemption 2: The Night Folk. Rockstar loves to trick their players into thinking that they're about to encounter something scary in their games, but they actually never put anything terrifying in any of their worlds. However, they did break that rule in Red Dead Redemption 2, and not just once, with the Night Folk being the one that stands out the most. As you're traveling through the terrifying swamp area, you'll encounter a few spooky things, such as a crying woman in white or a dead horse in the middle of the road. All these weird encounters are actually just traps set up by groups of figures known as the Night Folk. These possibly cannibalistic beasts will come charging at you from the darkness, scaring the heck out of anyone, even the gamers who know to expect them. What other scary moments in non-horror games made you jump the most? Let us know your most thrilling ones in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this content, check out some of our other videos. And as always, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in our next video.